Investor Connect podcast program. This is Hall T. Martin. I'm the host of the show, in which we interview angel investors, venture capital, private equity, family offices, and many other investor groups for startups and growth companies. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for joining us. Hello, this is Hall Martin with Investor Connect. Today I'm here with Gene Wang of People Power. Gene, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Great. So what was your background before starting People Power?
I am a serial entrepreneur, and this is my fifth startup and my fourth time as CEO. So I've had quite a history of startups. My first startup was an AI company back in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and we grew to about 100 people and about $8 million in revenue. And actually, the company is still in business. My second company was a medical robot company that did minimally invasive surgery using robots and voice control. And I took that company public. And after our successful IPO, a bigger company bought us called Intuitive Surgical. And we got a third of the shares, and they went on to become a $62 billion company. So that was a really good one. And then I started a company called Photo Access, which was a digital camera company. We sold to Agilent, and we made it into about 100 million camera phones. And then my previous company, which also forms the backbone of this current company, was called Bitphone, and we became the leader in mobile phone device management software. And we sold to HP for $160 million. So I had quite a set of companies and adventures, and I love startups, and that's what I do for a living.
Well, that's great. So what led you to start work in the current space you're in now with People Power?
Well, I had a little break between the time that HP bought Bitphone and I bailed out. So after about 8 months. And almost my whole team stayed for the whole 2-year lockup because everybody was quite motivated to get their golden handcuffs bonus, except for me. So I took my kids to school every day, and I would wander around the elementary school hallways, and I was reading the essays that the kids would write and they would post on the walls of the school. And they were really sad because they would talk about how their parents are destroying the planet and not leaving any place good for them to live on. And I got quite unhappy and motivated to do something about it. So actually, we started People Power after 2 years, really almost 2 years to the day after the the golden handcuffs came off of the HP deal. And we reformed as People Power, originally as a clean tech company prepared to save the world from climate change. And we still do that today as part of what we do. We work with some of the largest utilities in the country. But more recently, my company direction has changed quite a bit to expand to senior care. And it's because my mother is 83 years old and we're very close, but she wants to live in her own house. And I selfishly don't want her to move into my house either. So we're aligned on that. And so People Power is now focusing on senior care IoT services that enable seniors to live in the comfort of their own home, even as they're growing older and maybe falling, like my mother has fallen 3 times. And we're really building a very powerful and inexpensive system that will allow seniors to age in place in the comfort of their own homes.
Well, for the investors out there, what would be your advice for them before investing in this particular space? What's unique about this that investors should keep in mind?
Well, it's a very hot space, and I think there's a lot of investment starting to flow into this space because actually the demographics are such that every single day, 10,000 people turn 65. And in 15 years, we're going to have more people 65 and older than 18 years and under. And also, people have money to spend, and the healthcare systems cannot possibly keep up. So I think it is really an area in general ripe for investment. One of the particular fastest growing segments of the space is in home care, because people, as I was saying before, 90% of the people want to live in their own homes as opposed to moving to a nursing home or something like that. So there's a big opportunity for high tech to move into this home care space and add the ability for technology to help seniors, both in the event of emergencies as well as just feeling connected to their friends and family as they age. It's a really fast growing space. There are some areas of concern. One is, I think the solutions have to be affordable. They have to be very simple to use, and they have to really work. And so these are, of course, some of the things that you would look out for in any investment, but particularly in healthcare, I think they're appropriate.
So as this industry expands and evolves, and you talk about the solutions trying to keep up with it, what are the technical challenges that come in with making it work for this particular space? Are there any particular requirements you have to meet?
Yes, there are a whole number of requirements. One is just the patient's rights for privacy. And there is HIPAA compliance, which is very important. And I think any solution worth its salt should be HIPAA compliant, which means that a patient's records are confidential and need to be kept confidential. And in particularly as some of the industry giants move into the space and their whole business model is really the opposite of being extremely private and careful. And really many companies, their main business model is to sell your data. That is kind of a hurdle and an issue and a regulatory requirement when it comes to patient medical records and such things. Another thing is that it really has to be very accessible. And when you move into the space, you get, for example, we were just talking to somebody who is going blind. And of course, it's pretty difficult to use an app on a phone if you're blind. So other techniques such as voice control and just having something that will work completely autonomously and learn by itself, those types of capabilities are even more important for this type of demographic.
So in this space, how does people power fit into the landscape? What position does it currently hold?
Yeah, so we are a company who is a B2B2C company working through large partners who basically already serve many customers. And we have a solution that is custom brandable. So, for example, we're currently in the process of branding the People Power Care product offering to carry the brand of healthcare, various healthcare providers. And they actually market a solution under their own brand name, which is powered by People Power. So that's an approach that we've been taking for the last 10 years, and we power some of the world's largest brands already on a commercial basis. And we're carrying that forward into the senior care space. We're also very fortunate to have won this very large SBIR grant from the National Institutes of Health. And so we're actually working on a $4.5 million grant along with UC Berkeley to come out with a solution called Presence Care. And Presence Care is a service that combines a whole set of sensors like motion detectors, door sensors, as well as voice controllers. And in particular, we're using the Google Home right now, but we are also actually contemplating switching to the Amazon Alexa product. I just woke up I'll call her Alicia, I guess, for now. But the idea is that it has a whole set of devices connected to a cloud service that is able to do things like detect if somebody has fallen and then alert a trusted circle of family and friends, and then escalate to an emergency call center, which can, in the worst case, call an ambulance and dispatch an ambulance. It also has features for sharing memories and also making a trusted circle of family and friends frequently check in to call people so they don't feel lonely or isolated, because loneliness leads to depression, and depression leads to actually early death. So we're working at both the emergency response level, but also at a level that improves people's quality of life as they age.
Sounds fascinating. So what's coming up next for you guys? What are you going to be coming out with in the future?
Well, actually, just based on that last discussion about the CARE grant, we are coming out with what we call Presence Care 3.0. We've already successfully shipped 3 versions already, CARE 1, CARE 1.5, and CARE 2. And right now we're working hard on CARE 3, which we plan to release in January. And that's going to be a really cool product, really building a lot in the area of caregiver support groups so that caregivers themselves can be better supported, provide better care to their loved ones, or in the case of a professional caregiver agency, just do a better job in terms of understanding the various issues and finding the best solution to help people as they move forward through life.
Well, that sounds fascinating. Looking forward to that coming out. In the last few minutes that we have here, what else should we cover that we haven't?
One of the things that I've heard is that unlike most companies who have a team of people work hard together, People Power is not just a company, we're also a band. So we have a 10-piece band. I play saxophone. My co-founder, David Moss, plays trumpet. My assistant is actually a fantastic female vocalist. And we have a great time. We're actually performing again on December 8th at the American Association of University Women. We're also performing on November 15th at the Transformational Technologies Academy conference here in Palo Alto. We have our music on iTunes and Spotify and all of the usual places. So the People Power Band is at People Power. We work hard and we also play hard together.
Well, that's great. Sound like a great gig you got going there. Need to listen to that for sure. How best for listeners to get back in touch with you?
Yeah, so our website is peoplepowerco.com, but we also just launched a brand new product. It's fantastic. It's called Presence Family Care Pack. And if you go to presencefamily.com, you can check it out. It's a fantastic system that is low cost and easy to use and will help keep your family and your loved ones safe. So that's a second way. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn. And also the People Power Band has a YouTube channel that you might want to check out.
Great. Well, we'll put those in the show notes. I want to thank you for joining us today and hope to have you back for a follow-up soon.
Well, thank you, Hall. Appreciate it.
Investor Connect helps investors interested in startup funding. In this podcast series, experienced investors share their experience and advice. You can learn more at investorconnect.org. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.